We are STIHL, German-engineered chainsaws and landscape products.
The majority of which are made here in America by Americans.
And exported to over 90 countries around the world.
Find out why STIHL is #1 in America at stihlusa.com.
I'm Casey Krolowitz.
And I'm Louis Casarella.
And we're your host for the STIHL How-To series.
STIHL created the How-To series to give you some tips and general advice on how to operate and maintain your STIHL power tools.
Of course, as always, STIHL recommends that you read and understand the information provided in the STIHL instruction manual that came with your STIHL product.
If you can't locate your manual, it, along with all our instruction and safety manuals, can easily be viewed and downloaded for free from our website at www.stihlusa.com.
So what do you say, Louis? Let's get started. In this segment, Louis and I are going to show you the proper way to store your STIHL gas-powered tools. If you don't plan on using your tools for an extended period of time, generally 3 months or longer, this procedure is going to be pretty important. You may not know this, but most of the fuels you purchase today from your local filling station have a fairly short shelf life. By that, we mean its chemical compositions can start to change in a short period of time. In light of this, and to be cautious, we would recommend that you only purchase enough fuel to be used in a 2-month period, but not to exceed 3 months of storage. Beyond that period, the fuel purchased from your local filling station can start to break down. And if that older fuel is left in your power tool, well, it can result in expensive damages, most likely resulting in a trip to your local STIHL dealer. So, if you're not going to use your power tool for the next 3 months or more, the first thing you need to do is get all the gasoline from the filling station out of its system. To do this, we're going to start in a well-ventilated area, outside, away from any open flames or sparks, like this empty driveway. The first thing Louis is going to do is clean around the fuel cap. We don't want any dirt falling into the tank when we remove the cap. If you're storing a chainsaw, you'll also want to clean around the bar and chain oil reservoir cap. Then, with a clean funnel, we're going to drain the contents from the fuel tank into an approved container. Take extra care not to spill any fuel on the ground or yourself. Here's our first tip. STIHL offers an alternative to purchasing fuel for your power tools from the local filling station. STIHL sells a pre-mixed fuel in a can that is high-grade octane, ethanol-free gasoline with a STIHL HP Ultra synthetic oil. STIHL Moto Mix. This fuel is much more stable than regular gasoline and can be stored for up to 2 years without harming the engine. It's the ideal fuel mix for your small 2-stroke engines, like your STIHL power tools. And it's especially helpful if you don't use your tools on a regular basis. Now, if you've been using gasoline from the filling station and not STIHL's Moto Mix, after you empty the tank, you'll want to pour a small amount of Moto Mix back into the fuel tank. Reinstall the fuel cap and wipe away any fuel left behind. So Louis emptied the fuel reservoir and put a small amount of Moto Mix back into the tank. But he's not done yet. Next, you're going to want to start the engine. We need to give you an important caution here. STIHL warns you should never start your power tool any closer than 10 feet from where you are fueling, or in this case, unfueling your power tool. You never want to take the chance of a spark causing fuel or vapors on the ground or in the air to ignite. Now we're going to start the power tool and let it run at idle until it's completely out of fuel and the engine stops. This is going to burn up any fuel that was left in the tank, the fuel lines, or in the carburetor. The small amount of Moto Mix that we added is going to leave behind a slight coating that'll help protect the engine's components while it's being stored. But even if you didn't add a little Moto Mix, you're still going to want to start your power tool. Let it run until it's completely out of fuel. In the case of storing a chainsaw, fill the bar and chain oil reservoir. We don't want any internal parts of the tank that have been exposed to bar and chain oil to dry out while in storage. After the engine's had enough time to cool down, we're going to finish our storage prep. There are specific things that need to be done for the different types of power tools that STIHL offers. For our chainsaw, Louie's going to remove the chain and then the guide bar, and he'll clean both of them thoroughly. And he's going to make sure he cleans the inside bar rail with the groove tool, and he's going to make sure the oil holes are clear. Then, in a well-ventilated area, Louie's going to coat the bar and chain with corrosion-inhibiting oil. This is going to reduce the chance that rust will form while these parts are in storage. A nice accessory to have, not only for transporting your chainsaw, but for storing it, is a carrying case. You can store the bar and chain, tools and files, along with the power head. It's all in one place, safe, ready to be used when you need your chainsaw again. In the case of our hedge trimmer, we're going to want to thoroughly clean the blades, and once again, in a well-ventilated area, coat them with the STIHL resin solvent. Remember, always wear gloves when doing this. These blades are extremely sharp. And then reinstall the blade scabbard. For a string trimmer, take off the cutting attachment, clean it thoroughly, and then reinstall it. For all of our products, clean off the power head. Next, clean the air filter. You'll want to check the power tool instruction manual for proper procedures. Not all air filters are cleaned the same way. On our MS-271, we're going to clean around the filter and remove any loose debris before we remove it. We don't want any material falling into the throat of the carburetor when we take the filter off. Remove the filter, knock off any remaining debris, and then reinstall the filter. Finally, Louie will give the unit one more look over. Make sure all fasteners are tight and no parts are missing or broken, and then he'll wipe it down. Then, store it in a dry, high, or locked location, out of the reach of children or any unauthorized persons. So there you have it. Now your STIHL power tool's properly stored. Great job, Louie. This is Casey Krolowitz.
And Louie Casarella.
See you next time.